You're about to go live. Let's go, go, go.
We are
I'm gonna be on
going
like
live. We
I'm gonna be
are
on for like
live.
5 minutes.
Huh?
I'm gonna
Uh-oh,
be
we
on for
lost
like
Jay.
5.
Okay. We just lost Jay, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm sure he'll be back.
I got you.
So, welcome everyone. Happy Tuesday. It is Cassandra Terry, your manifesting miracle maker, along with my brother Brian Smart. And coming to the stage also is Jay Pasqua, the storytelling strategist. We've got Brian, Mr. Content, and I am Cassandra Terry, your manifesting miracle maker. And we are here on this Transformation Tuesday. Come on in. Welcome, everybody. Tuesday is one of those days. It's a big day. It's the first day of the week where we pull this group together. And there may be a couple of others that join us. But we rolling with what we have right now. And we are talking about transformation and the importance of transformation in our lives and how we can go about transforming. What does it really mean? We look at it from multiple angles. And so this week I'm also starting with a quote. So let me pull that up. Give me just a second. And Brian, I know you're on a tight schedule this morning. So we'll go with you and get your thoughts first. And that way, when you have to go, we won't bid you adieu, but we will have already gotten your brilliance before you go. So, our quote
All
for today,
right. All right.
concent- all right, concentrated attention is the collection of units of power on a chosen point of intention. Concentrated attention is the collection of units of power on a chosen point of intention. So, what's
Mm.
concentrated intention? Concentrated attention is a nice way to say focus, right? So, your focus is concentrated attention is the collection of units of power, your resources on a chosen point of intention, your goals. So we're talking about focusing your precious resources, your time, your energy, your mindset, taking all of that and focusing on your goals. Concentrated attention is the collection of units of power on a chosen point of intention. So I'm going to pass that over to you, Brian. Good morning, McD. Welcome back. I know you are on a tight schedule this morning, so we will get your thoughts first, Brian, before we
Okay.
dig into a bit more on focus. You can take it however you want. If you want to pick up with the with the quote, or if you just had your own thoughts you wanted to share this morning outside of that, however you want to do it, take it away.
No, so I like what you said about concentrated attention on a
Mhm.
point of intention. When you think about focusing, I think about a definite objective, and I talk about this all the time. So it's going to be hard for you to focus if you don't have a definite objective, if you don't have core values, if you don't know where you're going. Imagine taking a road trip and you're just going anywhere and you don't know how long it's going to take, you don't know where that place is, you don't know what you might incur along the way. Anything that happens along the way without focus will distract you. It will probably more than likely deter you from reaching wherever you didn't know you were going because you don't have focus. Think about focus like eyesight. Think about focus like bullseye. Think about focus like knowing where you want to go, knowing what you want to do. Have a definite objective. Decide how you're going to get there, right? Those are your values. What's going to get you to that definite objective? And give yourself some grace and some peace to not be distracted with everything that's going to come along the way. Because when you're focused, that's when the distractions come in, right? It's not being distracted if you don't have focus anyway. You're just out there. There's a book that I read all the time called Outwitting the Devil. And the book speaks about two kinds of people. Uh the kind that are definite and the kind that are indefinite. The ones that are indefinite are the ones that always end up suffering from time. If you're focused, time works on your side. If you're not focused, time works against you. The more you focus on your goals, the more you focus on your plan, the more time works for you. So when you think about being focused, don't worry about the distractions. Don't worry about uh, all the things that may come that will keep you off point. As long as you have a definite objective, then time is working on your side. Even the distractions are working on your side, right? Just stay focused. Stay focused on your definite objective. Oh,
Love
and one
that.
more
Love
thing.
that.
One
And
more
you,
thing.
yeah, come on. Hmm.
Let's also add in that knowing that definite objective only comes when you know yourself. And when you know yourself,
All
this
right.
ties back into what you're talking about, Cassandra. This ties back into mindset. Knowing
Yes.
yourself gives you affords you the ability to have a definite objective. If you don't know yourself, you won't be able to set that objective. I
Love
landed.
it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So, as you were talking, I was thinking about my current situation. Welcome, Sonia. I see you there. You can't find me on LinkedIn. My account's temporarily frozen. So, that's actually exactly what I was going to talk about. I have a definite objection. And Cliff, I see you shared the live. Thank you so much for doing that. I encourage the rest of you guys to do that as well. Brian, I see you're streaming on LinkedIn right now. Jay, you can do the same. Let's get the word out. Everybody invite somebody in. Um, who that is why. I Metki. So when we talk about having a definite objective, I made my video. You guys know I've been doing Dr. Ola's 21-day walk and hydrate challenge. So me and my husband were up doing our walk this morning, and I was like, can't post my video. I'm connected with Dr. Ola only on LinkedIn. And so because I can't get on LinkedIn now, I was like, I can't post the video, but I'm going to, take it anyway. And I'm going to keep being a part of the challenge. And I literally said in my challenge that you have to know your why. I'm not walking for LinkedIn. I'm walking because me and my husband want to improve our health. We want to slim down. We want to get that HDL and those cholesterol numbers in check. And we want to make sure that we are moving towards a healthy lifestyle to sustain all the activities that we have going on. Good morning, Booker T. Washington. And so we have to do it. You have to know your why. When LinkedIn shut me out, y'all, I'm in the clank. I'm in LinkedIn jail for whatever reason. And when they shut me out, that was a good excuse not to walk, or if I was going to walk, at least to not worry with the recording and all of that. Harry said health is wealth. You are absolutely right, Harry. Thank you for joining. um and so, is this a spiritual movement? I'll get right back to your question in just a second, Booker T. Washington. And so I said to myself, self, what's your why? Because you know your why, then you don't have to be concerned about whether or not you can broadcast to a particular place. You're connected to multiple places. So don't be so concerned about the things that you can't do, the things that are outside of your control. Focus on the things that you can control and put your best into that. And when it comes to my health, whether or not I could get on any form of social media, I still need to walk. I still need to hydrate. I still need to take my vitamins in, which is what's in this cup right now. So, knowing your why, having a definite focus and being committed to that outside of the distractions of life is just a part of learning to be committed and doing the things necessary to have the life that you say you want. So, Booker T. Washington, I'm not sure when you said, is this a spiritual movement? If you were specifically talking about the 21-day challenge, it's a fitness movement that a doctor on LinkedIn started, and she encourages everyone to walk 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, and get in at least your 8 hours of water. They always say it takes 21 days to create a habit, and it takes 90 days to really integrate and keep that habit. And so so her thing is, getting us up and moving. She happens to be a doctor that bases all of her stuff off of spiritual principles. And me and the folks that you see on this live happen to be the same. And so every movement that I make is a spiritual movement. But if we're specifically talking about the health thing, hers is biblically based, and she comes from that perspective to answer the question that way. But it's a fitness challenge that she's doing to help folks get healthy and get in the habit of moving and get in the habit of getting in our water. And so that's what I was referring to when I talked about this, the 21-day challenge. Today's topic is, on Tuesdays I always talk about transformation. Transformation Tuesday is, hello, John Williams, and thank you for your comment. I see you there. Tuesdays is a big day. Transformation is still early in the week, and the idea is mindset. My right below my name, for those of you who can see it, I know TikTok and LinkedIn can't. It says the voice within wins, and the reason that I say that, and I say it over and over and over again, is because I understand how important our internal messaging is. The things that you say and feel about yourself are the things that are going to determine how your life is really going to unfold, more so in many cases than external factors. Because when you stand tall in who you are, when you understand your value, when you have your values in place, you can better maneuver through the challenges of life. So that's kind of that's who we are, Booker T. Washington. And on Tuesdays, that's literally what we talk about every Tuesday, is transformation. I started with the quote, and I'm going to read it again, Jay, and then I'll pitch it over to you for your thoughts as well. Concentrated attention is the collection of units of power on a chosen point of intention. So let me mute Jay, and let's see what that brings to mind for you.
So, first of all, good morning, everybody. Transformation Tuesday. I will start by saying, many years ago, I would have been a different person um, in the midst of adversity and struggle. And if those of you don't know me, I survived a tornado in 2011 here in the state of Alabama. And that basically changed my mindset on several different things in my life. And intentionality is important, right? Focus is important. And pulling those things together, I'm going to refer to scripture here, and it's in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2 to 3. And the Lord answered me, write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it. For still the vision awaits its appointed time. It hastens to the end. It will not lie. If it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay. Write down your plans, focus on it, have intention, pray over it. And it may not come now, it may not come tomorrow, right? As long as you have that intention and you have that focus, you'll be able to reach that which you put down on paper. And I think it's important. Once you set it to paper, now your body and your mind has that focus. When you put your pen down on that paper, right, your mind is already putting it to memory. When you actually touch, feel, hold, and smell things, these are your senses working. And this is the power of what God has done for us as human beings to be able to have those senses. And so if you have the intention written down, it's going to affect you in ways you may not have even understood. So I think it's important for us to reflect on that, not be deterred. Look at your intention on that piece of paper every day, and before you know it, it'll come. And my mom used to say, you know, things don't necessarily happen in your time. It's going to happen in God's time. But if you have that intention, it'll get to you soon enough. And so I'm going to leave that in the conversation. We can talk more about it.
I love that. And the other thing is knowing that his timing is perfect. So we can rush things, we can drag our feet and be too slow about things. But when we know that there's a master plan and that there is a master planner, then yes, his timing is absolutely perfect. Good morning, Jackie. I'm glad you were able to join. Let's see. We've got quite a few people scrolling through. Welcome everybody. It's Transformation Tuesday. I'm Cassandra Terry. I'm with my buddy there, my brother Jay Pasqua, and Brian Smart is dropping in and out. We've already heard from him. He's got a busy morning this morning, so he dropped his knowledge first. He's listening, and I'm sure before he takes out, he'll drop us a goodbye message. But we're talking about transformation today, and transformation requires you to be focused and committed to the dream at hand, the goals at hand. Have a plan, and we're it's great that we're dreaming. It's great that we're planning, but then it comes to the point to where we have to take action, and not just any action, but intentional action based on the goals that we have set for ourselves. So I talk all the time about the difference between being busy and being productive. We're all busy. It's the world that we live in. There's more stuff to do than we could ever get done. So we run around doing all these things, but are we being productive? Busy means we're doing a lot of stuff. Productive means we're doing the right stuff at the right time to accomplish the goals that we have set for ourselves. So I want to encourage you to not get lost in the busy, because there's always something to do. But you've got to check in with yourself and ask yourself, why am I doing this thing? Why am I doing it right now? Maybe you're doing it because it's what you've always done this time of the year, this time of the day, whatever. But check in on a regular basis and ask yourself, why? Why am I doing this? And if the answer doesn't come back, then I'm doing it because it aligns with my values. It aligns with my goals. It's going to get me where it is that I'm determined to go. If you can't answer it that way, then why are you doing it? Why are you spending your energy? Our resources are limited. Our resources are precious. Our time and our energy and our focus, if we put that into the things that are important to us, we'll get to those things. And there's always something to buy for your time and your attention. Brian talked about distractions. Distractions come. This is a very distracted week for this particular group of people. Technology's not working right. We're getting shut out of places that we've been, very busy in on social media and things like that. Just weird stuff is happening. Distractions. The question is, what are we going to do in the face of those distractions? We're going to double down to what we're committed to. We're going to double down to the things that are important to us, and we're going to work just that much harder towards our goals. We could get together and be mad. All it would take was one of us. Good morning, Alicia. All it would take was one of us in the group to start to have a bad day and bring the whole collective down. I can't believe LinkedIn won't let me in. I can't believe these bad things are happening. Can you imagine that? But instead, we have made a conscious decision that we're going to stand stronger, and we're going to work around, and we're going to figure out how to accomplish the goals that we have. Good morning, Latanya. Because otherwise, we lose. If we give up on our dreams, if we give up on the things that are important to us that quickly, were they really that important? Was it really a dream? Did it sound good on paper? But when it came down to actually getting it done, if we can't lock in and commit to it, then maybe it doesn't align with our values. Maybe it's not really important to us. It's what society says we should do. It's what our parents told us we should do. It's the quote unquote right thing to do in our minds. But if we can't lock in and commit to that thing, we've got to start to ask ourselves why and really, really, really answer that question honestly, because you want to align your goals with your values. And like Brian said, before you can do that, you have to know what your values are. You have to be able to answer the question, who am I? What's important to me? What are the non-negotiables? There are some non-negotiables in my life. There are some things that I'm just not going to do. There's some things I will not be a part of. Period. And it doesn't matter how nicely you wrap them up. It doesn't matter how good of a salesperson you are. If it goes against my gut, because my gut does not lie to me. It tells me when I'm eating the wrong thing, spiritually, physically, and mentally. My gut is so sensitive. It's not just my food is too spicy. If I'm going down the wrong road, I start to feel funny. I'll never forget my husband and I, we were on vacation one time and we were out at like this festival and I had to go to the bathroom so badly. And we didn't want to go all the way back to the hotel. And we didn't speak the language. And this guy was had told had he we could speak enough. So we told we were looking for the bathroom and he was like, follow me, follow me, follow me. So we started to follow him. And then I started to look around. We were getting farther and farther and farther away from the crowd. We were starting to get into these little areas that were more segmented. I stopped right, and the hair on the back of my neck started to stand up. My stomach started to feel a little queasy. All of a sudden, the atmosphere was different. Things did not feel right. I will never know what his intentions were. Maybe that's just happens to be where there was a good clean bathroom that he could take us to. But I will never know because everything in me started to say, don't take another step. You're this is dumb. You are literally eyes wide open walking into danger. And I stopped and I looked at my husband and I said, we're going back. And we turned around and we started to go back. He tried to stop us and get us to follow again. And then I saw him later in the event, kind of still working the crowd. But he had something going on. And whatever it was, it's not my business. But it also was not my trauma because my body told me that I was not going into a safe situation. So I backed out. And our bodies are designed that way. We are spirits, we are physical, we are mental. There's layers to us. And when we allow those layers to align and we're connected to them at that level, when my mind doesn't tell me, because at that time my mind was just thinking, get thee to the bathroom and do it quickly. So my mind was single focused on a need, a physical need. And so physically, my body was trying to get to where it needed to go. But then my spirit kicked in and says, hey, caution, danger, think this through. And it started to wake up the other senses. And we all have that ability. Don't know what the outcome would have been if I hadn't have listened. May have been fine, but my body told me at that time that I was not making a wise decision. And so I turned back. And I encourage us, we have to listen to those built-in warning signs. People talk about, you shouldn't be angry and you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. Well, anger typically, there's some of us that, are set off really easily and don't think much about it. But typically anger is a warning sign. There's a boundary that's been crossed. You feel unsafe, you feel disrespected, something's going on. So instead of just pushing those feelings down, whatever they are, we have to learn to have a relationship with our emotions, have a relationship with your feelings. Check in with yourself. Why am I feeling this way? What's going on? Because there's something underneath that's generating that response. And if you find that I'm sensitive in this area because this thing happened in my past, that thing happened in my past, that's a good data point. Maybe you didn't respond and the person on the other end got more than what they deserved. You go clean that up. You apologize, you clean that up. But then you go inside and you deal with that situation. You've just learned something about yourself. So you can now evolve because you know there's a place of healing that hasn't, a place where the healing hasn't taken place yet. So there's some work that you can do. Or maybe every time you go near a coworker or a manager or something, you get anxious. You're uncomfortable. Ask yourself why. Is this person crossing my boundaries? Is this person not treating me well? What's going on? And when you check in and you learn about yourself, then you can start to really respect yourself, take care of yourself, do that deep self-care. I love getting my nails done, but that's the external easy self-care. Taking care of my internal, taking care of my internal. That's where the real self-care comes. And the more of that I do, the richer relationships I have, the better I am able to maneuver what life is bringing my way. On Saturday, when I was locked out of LinkedIn, I know this is such a small thing in the grand scheme of things, but y'all don't know how much time and energy I've invested building that platform up. And I'm literally live there just like this every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. And then all of a sudden, couldn't get in. Send us your driver's license. We're gonna investigate what's going. There's something going on with your account. We'll get back with you. And this is all just a text message, not a text message, but a message on my screen. There's nobody I can talk to. There's no process to follow. I'm just at their mercy. I just have to wait. And hopefully at some point in time in the not too distant future, they'll reestablish my account and I can move forward. That I woke up from a nap. And after posting before the nap, and I couldn't get in. That could have set me off. It didn't feel good. And people started to reach out to me going, "Hey, I can't find you," because I built real relationships on these accounts. I met Jay and Brian that you guys have heard or either can see through that account. And there's a couple of other people, Denise and Eric and any people started to WhatsApp me. People started to message me. Those who had my personal phone number were texting, "Hey, what's going on?" And so I said, "I don't know what's going on, but I can't get into my, to my account." Here comes Eric now. Let me add him in. And so they were starting to get really frustrated, going, "What's going on, sis? Why is this happening?" And I was like, everything happens for a reason. There must be something else that I need to do with it. Hold on. Let me mute Eric. Coming in being disruptive, Mr. Clark. Welcome, Eric. We are glad that you're here. I saw a message go by from Denise. She's not live streaming, but she's listening in. So all of the Fam 5 is here in one way or another. And what I was saying was this is the group of folks that I immediately spoke to when I figured out that something was going on. And collectively, there was a little bit of disappointment and a little bit of frustration, but I was in a good headspace. And I was like, there must be something else I'm supposed to be doing with my time right now. It helped us to decide that, hey, we need to make sure we've got everybody's numbers locked in. So when we can't reach each other socially on social media, we can reach each other directly. I mean, we just started to. Somebody said, "I've learned to pivot when needed, perhaps open a YouTube channel." Exactly, Harry. You pivot. You do what you need to do because my goal is to get my message out. LinkedIn is one of those vehicles, but I have a YouTube channel. I'm streaming to it right now. I'm on Facebook, a personal account and a private account and a private group. I'm on Instagram and I'm on TikTok. That's all happening right now. And my friends who are on LinkedIn that are with me this morning, I see Brian and Jay and Eric, you can do the same. They're streaming to their LinkedIn pages. So we're still getting the word out. We're still having these conversations everywhere. And a couple times yesterday, they called me on the phone. They reached out and called me on the phone, so I was able to participate. So we do what we need to do to get the job done, to remain productive. It would have been, I could have stayed busy. And I could have fussed and fought and been all frustrated and brought the group down. But we made a decision. We're going to work around it. We're going to take this as a lesson and we're going to learn from this. I love the word Harry used, we're going to pivot and we'll be stronger for it. We'll be better for it. We're better prepared. So if anybody else in the group, the same thing happens, we know exactly how to maneuver. We have a plan. Let's see, Conchito, lessons to be learned. Where there is a will, there is a way. It's all part of God's plan. Peace and blessings to you, Miss Cassandra. Conchita, you must have read my mind. So on Monday mornings, I'm a part of a different live called Monday Morning Motivation with Eric and friends, Eric King, and we got on the phone. They got me on the phone so that I could participate at least audibly in their live that I've been doing every Monday morning at 6 a.m. my time for weeks. And that was my message, Conchita. Where there is a will, there is a way. It's teaching perseverance. It's teaching resilience. It's showing you what you're made of. You don't know what you're made of when the sun is shining. You know what you're made of, huh, Eric, when you're out there walking in that 40-something degree weather. That's when you know you're committed to your goal. And me and my husband were out this morning and we were talking about you, Eric. And I said, I feel like I kind of know what my brother Eric is going through in Wisconsin, but I know it's not 43. It was 45. And we walked for our hour and I feel great, committed to a goal, regardless of what's going on. And one day it was raining super hard. So we knew we couldn't get out and walk. So what did we say? Oh, we've got to check the gym membership to make sure that we can at least go hit the treadmill or something. So you pivot, you have backup plans, you stick to the goal that's important to you, even if you can't do it the way that you typically do it. The growth, and that's commitment, and that's great. But the real growth is when you can't do it the way you usually do it, and you figure out how to get it done anyway. And that's what I want to challenge us to do. We all are made of that. We all have that inside of us. We just have to sometimes change our focus just a little bit. I was focused on solution, not the problem. Because if I focused on the problem, this inner child of mine was going to show up and she was going to be mad and she was going to have an attitude. It would affect her household. It was not going to be healthy. It wouldn't be good for anybody. So I can't focus on the problem. Let me focus on the solution so that the problem starts to shrink. The problem starts to have not as much of an effect. It's not as heavy because it's not getting all of my resources. It's not getting my focus. It's not getting my time and attention. I'm going to walk through any problems that come up. You move through them. You don't want to stop in the middle of the storm. You have to keep moving forward. We are designed to go through the storm. Jay is the ultimate. I can't even say the word storm and not think about him because of his tornado experience. One moment, he had a whole house that he and his wife and kids were in. The next moment, I think he said even the foundation was gone. There was no trace that house was ever there. Imagine what that must have felt like. Yeah, here he sits, motivating, telling his stories in a prolific way that only he can. He went from being, when I met him, he was Jay, the help desk guy. He manages, runs, supplies the people, all this stuff about help desk. That's cool. I know we need help desk. But that's what I saw when I saw his face. Now I see Jay, the storytelling strategist. I see Jay, the motivator. I see Jay, the artist. I have watched this guy just blossom in front of all of us, and all these gifts and talents just are falling out of him that we didn't even know existed. And I think he knew he was good at some stuff, but he didn't know that he was divinely gifted. I don't think he got it because I still see the look on his face when people are giving him his flowers. He's like, oh, really? He's still learning about his gifting. And we all have that. What are the things that you get excited about? What lights you up? What would you do even if you couldn't get paid for it? The things that you love to pour your energy into. Lean into that stuff because something in your gifting is your way out of whatever situations you're going through. Your peace is there. Your mental stability is there. Your opportunities for growth, financially, spiritually, mentally, it's there. You have to lean into that stuff. God didn't put all these gifts in us just for us to hang out with them. There's a purpose. There's a purpose for those giftings. I tell my sister that all the time. I have a sister who can sing your wig off, and her kids are just like Jay. I have yet to see those kids not be great at everything that they do. Everything. They can sing, they can dance, they can draw. They're gifted athletes. They've just been good at everything that they did. And every one of us has our way out, our way over, our way through. It was planted in us before we even took that first breath. You've got to water it though. You have to till the ground. You have to give it the nutrition that it needs. You have to allow your gift to grow and find its place. Because in you doing that, you show up in the world in a way that's going to bless so many other people. The world gets better every time one of us walks into our gifting. The world actually becomes a better place because as you're walking into your gifting, you're touching the life of somebody else. There's somebody who needed what it is that you have. And most of us are walking around not even knowing that we matter. You matter so much that somebody's waiting on your gifting. They're waiting on you to become who you are in your fullness of it because they're going to get their breakthrough in watching you do what you do. So understand just how valuable, how important you are to the world at large. We're all, it's just a big fabric, and we're all a part of that fabric. And in some places where the fabric is ripped, we come together and we help repair it. And in doing so, again, the world becomes a better place. So our transformations are not just for us, it's for the world at large. Let's see what we've got. Conchita says, "You are pure light." Thank you so much. That's probably the highest compliment that you could pay me. Latanya says, "Y'all preaching this morning, LOL. I walk every morning, but I don't do cold. I'm heading out anyway." Go, Latanya, go. Layer, layer up, cover your head, and take those steps and keep walking into your health, girl. Eric is tapping his head because he's got his stocking cap on. Let's see. Conchita, Jay's story has been a true inspiration this morning, true resilience. And Conchita said, "Hallelujah." So the comments are rolling in. Jay, people are responding to my share of your story, but nobody can do it like you. So I'm happy to mute and give you the mic. Anything you want to say in response to these comments, and then Eric, when Jay finishes, let's go ahead and hear from you as well.
You know, one of the things that I say all the time about that situation and the aftermath that occurred is that I looked into the faces of my children. I looked at my wife as well. And I could have sat there and been a victim, but instead I looked towards my faith in my DNA and I said, I got this. So instead of being a victim, I became a victor. And it's important to understand. I tell folks, look, don't wait for a tornado to come through your life. You know, we all experience storms in our life. I experienced one this morning trying to get back into LinkedIn, and that's another story. But I ain't going to sit down and be a victim. I'm going to continue to get up and be a victor. And you don't have to experience something like a natural disaster to have that shift and that change in your mindset. You can do it right now, right here, in this moment. All you got to do is sit up and take notice and do what you got to do. Now, I'm not going to say that there aren't going to be days where you just want to lie back in bed. And sometimes that's that's okay. But it's that intentionality, what we were talking about earlier, putting it down to paper and having that focus and continuing forward. So thank you everybody for the words and the encouragement. And I just offer that encouragement to you.
Conchita said, powerful words, faith in my DNA. And Sonia said on Instagram, moving forward is the best way to transform and prepare for the challenge. Keep moving. And the one thing I'll say, the difference between victim and victor mindset. How are you processing the experience? What are you focused on? Are you focused on the solution, or are you so overwhelmed and overburdened by the problem that it has taken full control of you? That's why mindset is so important. His circumstances didn't change. His house was still gone. His house and a whole bunch of other damage was still happening. He had to figure out how to get the lights turned off. This is one of the stories that I won't forget. Um, the house was no longer there, but he was still being charged for electricity. So, things while he's trying to figure out, where's my family going to lay its head? How are we going to keep food cold? Just regular things that we take for granted. All of a sudden, that was all gone. And in the midst of that, he's got to figure out, how do I stop getting charged for these things that I don't even have anymore? Because it's on that regular monthly cycle. And these people are just doing what they always do, not realizing the tragedy that's happened in our space. And so he could have come out of this a very angry man. He could have said, why me? And that could have been the focus, because why me will make you angry because you feel like you've been taken advantage of. You feel like life has treated you unfairly, those types of things. But instead, Jay said, we're still here. And so I'm meeting Jay these years later. However, he's got video footage from when he was interviewed. And while he was still in tears, while he was getting choked up and in tears, he told the reporter, we're still here. That's a victor. That's a person who sees the blessing in any situation. My stuff may be gone. My way of life may be challenged. The things that I'm accustomed to are not going to happen the way I'm accustomed to them happening. But I'm still here. My wife is still here. The kids are still here. That means we have the opportunity to create what life looks like next. I'm not going to be bogged down and beat myself up about what was, because I can't change it. I can't untornado my situation. The winds have blown, and the winds blow in our lives all the time. They may be emotional winds, they may be spiritual winds, they may be like Jay and be physical, actual wind blowing. But the wind blows in our lives. Prepare for it. Figure out how you're going to move through it. If you've ever walked against the wind, it's pushing again. You can't even see it, and it's pushing against you. When that wind is pushing against you and you're doing what Sonia said and you're still moving forward, you're getting stronger. You're building up muscles that you would not otherwise have. So, although we don't invite tornadoes into our lives, we're not looking for the storm in order for us to get stronger. But we do realize that when they show up, that there's something good that's going to come out of it as well. Even if it's just the fact that you now know how resilient you are, how strong you are, who your real community is, who has your back. You know things that you wouldn't have known before. So you take that and you focus on that and you pivot and you rebuild and you keep moving forward. That's the story that's the Jay I know. So let me give Eric the chance to speak, and then I'm going to read. Denise said, wow, I can't untornado my situation. That's profound. All right, so we're going to jump over to you, Eric, and then we'll close up by reading the quote one more time, and then we'll sound out. So I'll mute, and over to you, Eric.
Thank you, and good morning. You may hear I'm a little out of breath because the wind is just so cold. So it's just me trying to warm up the air as I breathe it. So I may speak a little slowly. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm going to stay in that same vein and just give you your flowers, Cassandra, because I think that's one of the things that are one of the ways that you've impacted me most, is that mindset and just continuing to understand and know that everything is happening for you. And that was one of the first things you told me, is that everything is happening for me. And that perspective change allows you to be really reflective when things happen and take the time to try to understand and move in the ways that you're being aligned. I feel pulled. It wasn't just something that made sense to me strategically or for my enterprise or entrepreneurially. It was a love. It was heartstrings. It was um, the teaching, the mentorship. It was so authentic that, like you said, I didn't talk to you guys a lot this weekend, and it was like, I miss my family. I miss my family. They empower me. They support me. They are aligning with my mission, with my purpose. They are empowering me to be the best version of me. And so I just want to give you and Brother Jay, I know Mr. Content is not here with us physically, but spiritually he's with us and we're with him. So we're certainly sending our love and our heart to Mr. Content and my sister Denise, who is listening. We know you listening, sis. So we here to support you as well. All the listeners, thanks for all the love you are showing, support, the comments, keeping us going. We truly appreciate it. So just thankful this morning. It's freezing. I'm cold, but we out here. Back over to you.
Appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. Christina says, hi, everyone. I got to listen to this live through the signposting from Jay Pasqua. I will connect with Cassandra, hoping to be able to join more live sessions. I love what I have heard so far. Thank you. So, Christina, the reason that I'm not live directly on LinkedIn is that my account is frozen right now. They're investigating something, and I'm hoping to be back soon. It's been like this since Saturday, so a few days now. So you can't find me on LinkedIn at the moment for that reason. And the my brothers are live streaming for me and with me since I'm not able to do it directly. I'm on the other social media right now, but my LinkedIn live is disconnected from my StreamYard until they work out whatever's happening with my account. So thank you. I look forward to us meeting and getting connected. So I promised that I would read the quote one more time. So let me pull that up. Concentrated attention, focus, is the collection of units of power, your resources, on a chosen point of intention, your goals. So that's what we're talking about. Focusing all of your resources, your mind, your energy, those thoughts, your time, taking those in that all of that and directing it towards something that's important to you, your goals, your life's ambitions, whatever it is. So concentrated attention is the collection of a unit of power on a chosen point of intention. I cut off the name of I actually accidentally cut off the name. Let me tell y'all who said that. James Arthur Ray. That's a quote from James Arthur Ray. So we're going to close with that. And Denise says she's watching through Brian's feed. So we are sending our brother Brian the best of love and good thoughts. The same to you, Eric. We know you have been dealing with difficulties in your family as well, but yet you guys continue to show up. You continue to model what it is to be committed and to walk through your storms. And I do believe that with everything in me, life is happening for us, not to us. And we go through whatever we go through, and we pick those nuggets. We learn from those situations and we pivot, like Harry said earlier. We integrate the learning into our lives and we go through and we change and we adjust and we're better for it. Even those difficulties, even the hard things. you learn from them. And when you can find that gift, it helps you to settle in and have peace in that situation. It helps you to find your peace in whatever it is that you're going through when you look for the gift in it. So we will end right there. Thank you, Fam5, for joining this morning. Love you, Brian Smart, Mr. Content, Jay Pasqua, the storytelling strategist, Eric Clark, our soul speaker, and our beautiful sister, Denise, who puts it all together and makes things happen for us. We can't see you, but we can feel you, and we can see your messages as they scroll through. So we are signing off. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be able to be on LinkedIn as well. So you guys all send me that good mojo, send me the good vibes, and hopefully LinkedIn will get their act together and get my account reinstated. Ella Bailey says, good morning. Good morning to you as well. And we will be back. Tomorrow is Wednesday. So Wednesday is Wake Up Wednesday. And on Wednesdays, we always talk about being intentional and the intentionality as a tool, intentionality as a way of life. You being intentional, just like we talked about focus today, being intentional in order to accomplish your dream. So you guys join us back here tomorrow. For those of you who are not on LinkedIn, you can reach me through my DMs if you are looking for help in this space. I am a mindset strategist. I'm a coach, and my focus is on that voice within. If you're struggling in that space, reach out. I have some free resources. I also coach and have online courses and things that could help you. So if you need help in that space, you know where to find me. If you're on LinkedIn, you see the guys here, Eric, Brian, Jay, you can drop them a message and they'll get it to me, and we'll figure out how to connect. And with
she's
that,
the best in the business. She may not be able to say it, but I can say it. She's the best in the business, folks. Do yourself a favor. If that's what you want to improve in, that's where she needs to go.
Thank you, Eric.
Best in the business. Best in the business.
Maysel said, thanks so much for today. I learned a lot. I am so glad to hear that, Maysel. And hopefully you'll join us back tomorrow. We will be on 7:15 a.m. Central, same time, and we will do it again. And I look forward to being with you all. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, guys. Thank you. Thanks, fam. All right. Love you guys.
You're welcome. Bye now.